White lights burn above him.
Relax, human, this
The
won't
room
hurt.
is small and too clean. He lies on a smooth table with his wrists tied by soft gray bands. Machines hum like calm bees. A clear tube hangs over his chest filled with a silver liquid that glows. The door slides open. An alien girl steps in. She is young, with pale blue skin and dark, careful eyes. Her hair is tied back. Her clothes are white like the walls. She moves like water, soft, precise, quiet. She sets a tray of tools near his shoulder. A thin needle, a round scanner, a strip of shining tape. Her voice is gentle. "Relax, human, this won't hurt," she says. He does not answer. He breathes in and out, slow and even. His eyes look at the ceiling where a black dot sits in the corner. A camera, another dot in the light frame, a second camera. He counts screws on the vent. 8. He counts steps from the door to the table. 6. He counts heartbeats and lowers them, one by one. He was trained to do this, not as a soldier, as a patient man who learned to survive. The girl checks a small device behind her ear. It is a thin silver implant. He sees a faint scar under it, old. The skin around it is white and tight. When her fingers touch it, her jaw stiffens just for a moment. Pain. Control. He studies her face. Her eyes avoid the camera for half a second, then return. She knows she is watched, he thinks. She is kind, but she belongs to the ones who are not. "Please look at me," she says, lifting the scanner. "I need your eyes." He looks at her. The scanner paints a blue ring across his pupils. Numbers crawl on a wall screen. He does not blink. "What is your name?" she asks. He stays silent. He is careful with names. Names are levers in a place like this. "I will call you." "Patient," she says, trying to smile. "It is just a scan, just to measure pain." Her smile fades when she says, "pain," like the word itself tastes bad. She takes the needle. The camera lens shifts a little, clicking in the ceiling. He watches the reflection in the metal tray. The tray shows a small slice of the room the camera cannot see. He files that away. "Relax," she says again, softer now. "This is protocol." "Protocol for what?" he asks in a dry voice. "For your safety." She answers instantly, and a small tremor goes through her hand. A lie punished by the implant. She places the needle down, breathes out and reaches for the scanner instead. He turns his head a little, enough to see the door. The lock glows green. He remembers the sound of boots in the hall. Heavy 2 guards. Their soles left black dust near the vent. Coal dust? No, filter dust. A sign that the vent was opened recently. Maybe a path? The girl leans close to adjust the strap on his wrist. Her hair brushes his arm. In that small cover from the camera, he whispers so low the mic might miss it. "They listen through you." Her fingers pause. For a second, her eyes harden with fear. Then she tilts the tray casually, like she is fixing it. The angled steel sends the ceiling mic nothing but the soft clink of tools. Her index finger slides across the fog on the tray. One word appears in the condensation. "Sorry." He has no time to answer. The wall screen flashes. A new line of text scrolls. "Procedure start." The door lock hums. The green light turns red. She picks up the needle again. Her face looks calm for the camera. Her eyes do not. "If I scream," he says near a laugh, "and what happens?" "They come," she whispers. "Good," he says. "Let them come." He pulls once, testing the strap. Not yet. She lowers the needle toward his skin, but he feels the metal touch the strap instead. The band softens with a tiny chemical hiss. Clever. She is not hurting him. She is cutting the cage. A heavy footstep stops outside the door. A second one follows. A third, slow and firm. The door lock clicks. The red light washes the room. The temperature seems to drop. The cameras focus with a small whine. The door slides open. A tall figure stands in the frame. Gray coat, cold smile, eyes like polished stone. "Is the human ready?" the man asks. The girl answers, "Yes, Overseer." The needle hangs above his wrist. The band is one breath from breaking. He looks at the Overseer, then at the camera, then at the vent. He is still. He is counting. He is waiting. The procedure is about to begin. The Overseer steps inside like Winter. 2 guards follow, black armor, blank faces. The red light fades to white again, but the room feels colder. He lies still. The gray band around his wrist is almost cut, but not free. The needle floats above, close to skin. The alien girl, Lyra, keeps her face calm. Only her eyes move, fast and careful. "Begin." Overseer Krail says. His voice is smooth stone. We need the human's memory keys. Payne will open them. Lyra nods. Low-stress protocol first, she says. It gives clean data. Krail turns his head a little. He looks at the heart monitor by the table. Slow, steady beats. 1 hour, he says. If he resists, we go to harsh mode. The guards take positions at the door. Krail leaves. The door seals with a soft hiss. Silence. Machine hum. The world shrinks to white walls and a strip of fog on the metal tray. Low stress, Lyra repeats for the camera. Then quieter. Breathe. He does. In, out. He lets his chest rise and fall in a pattern. 4 beats in, 7 beats hold, 8 beats out. The monitor tries to follow, fails, then thinks he is drifting to sleep. The screen label flips, resting. The camera narrows focus, trusting the label more than the man. He watches the upper right corner, a tiny blind spot where light reflects off the tray. He moves his eyes to the vent. Black dust, filter dust, a hint of a path. Lyra pretends to check his pulse. Her thumb presses the strap, and with a small twist, the soft cut widens. Just a hair. The chemical smell hides under the clean air. The band will break on a sharp pull, but not yet. Not safe yet. What will they do if I do not speak? He asks, voice flat. Purge, she says, still acting for the room. Her implant stings the word. She flinches so small it is almost nothing. They call it renewal. He listens to the air. There is a hum, and under it a deeper breath, the station's lungs. Every 5 seconds, a soft sigh near the floor. Intake. Good to know. Tell me about the keys, he says, not because he does not know, but because he wants her to speak in a way her implant accepts. Not keys like metal, she says, grateful for the script. Keys like patterns. Payne changes memory. They harvest the change, he files it away. The Empire does not want him broken. The Empire wants him different. Lyra leans close, lifting the scanner again. The lens flashes blue over his irises. For a heartbeat, her hair casts a shadow over the nearest mic. They listen through you, he breathes. I know. She breathes back. Then louder for the feed. Hold still. He lets his head roll a little, as if relaxed. His eyes scan the tray. The tools are set like soldiers. Needle, clamp, tiny mirror, a sealant stick, a dull probe. That probe is not dull. He flexes his fingers, slow enough to look like a twitch. The band gives a soft whisper. 1 more push and it will snap. Not yet. Lyra glances up at the camera and then down as if reading his mind. She nudges the tray so the mirror faces the ceiling lens. The camera sees itself instead of his wrist. Small adjustment, she says. Calibration, he risks it. He flicks his thumb under the probe and slides it a finger width closer. To anyone watching, nothing moved. To his skin, metal is now almost touching his palm. Why help me? He asks. Her mouth opens, then closes. The implant waits like a knife on a string. At last, she says, true enough to avoid pain. Because I am a medic. He studies her face. He believes that is true and not the whole truth. The door panel blinks. A soft tone pulses through the room. Docking appears on the wall screen. The letters are calm, but the meaning is not. A bigger ship is here. Transfer. Deeper lab. Fewer chances. Krail's voice floats in from the ceiling, cool and bored. Status? Lyra answers. Baseline complete. Proceeding to step 2. She takes the needle and holds it over his arm so the feed sees good work. But the tip kisses the strap again, just once, finishing the cut. The band is now 1 breath from open. He feels the weight of time. 1 hour is shrinking. He looks past Lyra to the ceiling. Something tiny moves in the corner, smaller than a fingernail clinging to the light's frame. Not a camera. The eye is too small. A beetle? No, a microdrone with a slick black shell the size of a seed fused to the rim. Its lens shines like a drop of oil. He does not look at it for long. He blinks slow, lazy, like he saw nothing. Lyra steps to the side console and taps 3 commands. The room's sound softens. The system is filtering noise for clear recording. He speaks in a near whisper, letting the mic struggle. Top right light. New eye. Lyra's gaze never moves to the corner, but the skin under her implant tightens. She turns back with the scanner and passes it over his collarbone. To the camera, it is a scan. To the drone, it is nothing. But to the mirror on the tray, the scanner's glow paints a faint outline of the tiny thing. She breathes out. Her eyes are wet glass. "Understood," she says, and her tone tells him she will act. He slides the probe fully into his palm. The strap is ready. The monitor is fooled. The overseer trusts the label. Lyra lowers her hands as if to rest them. Her left palm opens and a small tool sits there. A magnetic ring, no bigger than a coin. Step 2, nerve map, she says for the room. For him, it means something else. She touches the ring to the tray's edge. A little buzz dances through the metal. The mirror vibrates. The micro-drone moves. It lets go of the light and drops, quiet as dust, toward the tray. He smiles with his eyes only. Lyra's hand hovers. Calm as a pond. The drone is falling. The trap is open. The micro-drone drops. Lyra's hand is still. The ring on her finger hums for half a breath. The tray's edge pulls the tiny machine like a magnet kissing metal. The drone hits the tray with a soft tick and sticks there, belly up, legs twitching once. To the camera, nothing happens. To them, a door just opened. "Begin nerve map," Lyra says for the room. She lifts the scanner. The blue glow washes his throat and collarbone. Her other hand slides the tray closer, slow and clean. Her thumb rolls the tiny magnet ring again. The drone's legs fold in like a dead bug. He watches with quiet eyes. He does not smile, but inside he counts a new number. 1 tool captured. Lyra angles her body so the ceiling lens sees only her back. The micro-drone is under the shadow of her arm. Her fingers move with surgeon grace. Tweezer, twist, click. She opens a seam no bigger than a hair. He hears the faintest crackle like dry leaves. A scent lifts, burned resin. "Hold your breath," she says aloud. He holds it. The monitor shows a neat flat line of calm. The system thinks, good patient. Good data. Softly under the scan tone, she whispers, "It can bite. I will cut the teeth." He answers in the same soft way. "And the eyes?" "Blind soon," she says. Her implant gives no shock. This is not a lie. Her hands prove it. She slides out a speck of black glass, the lens, and drops it into her palm. "She keeps the shell. What can it do now?" He whispers. "Listen," she says. "But only from here." She taps the tray. Good. A snake with no head and no fangs. He shifts his wrist a little. The gray band is almost open. The dull probe sits hidden in his palm, pressed to skin. "Why help me, truly?" he asks, eyes on the ceiling mic. She cannot answer true in words. The implant waits. So she answers with shape. She moves the scanner across his face in a slow arc. No pain. She moves it across the strap, tiny hiss. Let the camera read procedure. Let the human feel cut. He understands. "Questions," he whispers. "You nod or shake. Yes or no, no lies. No pain." She stops for half a breath. Then she nods once. "Are there more drones in this room?" he asks. She shakes her head. "Is your implant linked to the overseer right now?" A small hard nod. "Does the implant punish you for helping me?" Another nod, tight, brave. "Do you want to leave this place?" Her eyes shine like water in a cold light. She does not nod. She also does not shake. The implant paces inside her like a wolf on a leash. Her mouth says for the feed, "Prepare for pulse." He understands that answer too. Want is dangerous. Duty is safer. He will not force a want into a word. The scanner hums. He uses the noise. "What if," he says, "we make a blind spot bigger?" Her hand slides the tray so the mirror faces the lens at a sharp angle. The camera now watches itself. A very small blind moon blooms in the corner of the room's vision. For 5 seconds, she whispers, "A risk." "Enough," he says. He counts. 3, 2, Lyra shifts her shoulder. The ring hums. The drone shell makes a tiny static sound. The ceiling lens refocuses on its own reflection. 5 seconds of fog. He moves. His thumb drives the probe into the last thread of the strap. The soft gray tears with a gentle sigh. His wrist is free. He does not yank. He does not show the win. His hand stays where it was. A free hand that pretends to be tied. On the screen, calm lines keep crawling. Resting still glows like a sleepy lie. The system believes its own dream. Lyra covers the motion by leaning in. Her hair falls like a curtain. In that curtain, her fingers pass him a thin filament stuck to her glove. It feels like a strand of hair. It is not. It is metal you can tie like a string. "For locks," she breathes. "For promises," he answers. She places the dead lens back into the drone's belly and snaps it shut. To the camera, the bug never fell. To any later check, The last frames will show nothing but white light and work. Step 3, she says calmly. Stimulus. He watches her touch the implant behind her ear just to hide the tremble in her hand. The scar's white old. The pain behind it is not. He speaks louder for the room. Tell me about the harvester ship, he says. The word hits the air like a bell. Lyra does not flinch. Good girl. The ship's name is not a secret. It is a warning. A harvester collects samples, she says, eyes on the scanner. Sends them to Cold Lab, no return. Do they want me there? He asks. Yes. When? The wall answers before she can. Docking complete, the letters glow blue. A deep vibration rolls through the floor. The station shivers. He feels it in the table, in his bones. A metal whale has kissed the habitat. Krail's voice spills from the ceiling, smooth as oil. Prepare transfer. 10 minutes. Understood, Lyra says. She does not look at him. She looks at the tray, at the tiny drone shell, at the coin ring. He lays the free hand flat under the sheet. Fingers meet fingers. He passes the filament into his other palm without lifting a muscle. He twists it once, twice. It becomes a loop, a key, a plan. Pain test, Lyra announces. She picks up the needle for show and touches it, not to skin, but to the cut strap. The chemical seam melts more. The second wrist will go with a breath and a twist. Not yet, he studies the room. Vent on left wall. Intake at floor. Camera in light. Blind spot mirror. Door lock glows a calm green that means nothing here. The real lock is in Krail's hand. Tell me, he says softly under the needle's shadow. Where is the implant control? Her lashes lower. A tiny nod points down, then right. Air core. He hears it again. The station's slow breath under the floor. The lungs and the leash share a heart. Can you reach it? He asks. She shakes her head. Can I? She hesitates, then tilts her hand, palm up, just half an inch. A medic's yes if alarms crack the air. Not the calm blue of docking. This one is red and hot. A new word floods the wall. Purity sweep. Krail's voice is closer, edged with hunger. Micro-drone feed lost in Lab 12, he says. Audit in progress. Lyra sets the needle down. We must pause, she says for the room. Her implant bites. She swallows the pain without a sound. He breathes slow. The monitor thinks bedtime. Good. Outside, boots move fast. He counts 3 pairs, one heavier than the others. The overseer's step is a slow hammer. Lyra lifts the scanner again, but this time she turns her wrist just so. The coin ring brushes the tray and hums. The drone corpse sings a little song only machines can hear. The camera fuzzes for 1, 2, do you trust me? He asks plain, the implant cannot cut that. She nods once, yes. Then do as I say, he whispers. When I scream, her eyes widen a hair. She knows what scream will bring. Guards, guns, time cut thin to a blade. She nods anyway. He curls the filament key between 2 fingers. The free hand hides under the sheet ready. Boots stop at the door. The lock turns. Krail is here. Lyra takes a breath. He opens his mouth. He screams, it is not fear, it is code. It is a flare thrown into a dark sky. His voice hits the white room and breaks it. The monitor jumps. The camera zooms. The door slides wide. Overseer Krail steps in first, tall and calm. 2 guards follow, black armor and blank eyes. Behind them walks a third figure in a thin silver suit with a cold black case. The suit has the crest of the harvester ship on the chest, a ring of needles around a dead star. Lyra does not move. Then she moves fast. Cardiac drop, she says, sharp and professional. I need clear space. Krail raises a hand. The guards stop. The person in silver does not. They put the black case on a side table and open it. Inside is a small coffin made of glass and frost. A faint mist eats the air near it. Tiny hooks glitter inside like teeth. No more lab time, the silver voice says. Not a man. Not a woman. Just a voice with no heart. Transfer at once, Lyra looks at Krail. He nods without looking at her. Proceed, he says. He lies still. His left wrist is free under the sheet. His right wrist stays tied for the room. The filament key sits between 2 fingers like a secret smile. Lyra leans over him. Her hair falls like a small knight. In that cover, her hand finds his free hand. The filament key touches the strap lock at his waist. He feels the tiny click. 1 lock sleeps. Out loud, she says, preparing a stabilizer. She reaches for the clear tube above his chest. Inside, the silver liquid glows like moon water. She turns the dial and pinches the line. The needle in her other hand dips into a second bottle. plain saline. She draws it back. To a camera, fluid is fluid. To a medic, it is the difference between pain and ice. Krail steps closer. No drugs, he says. He travels as he is. Then he may code, Lyra answers. Cold Lab hates messy codes. She lets a thin fear color her voice. Not for him. For the data. The silver suit pauses. 30 seconds, it says. Then the box closes. Lyra's eyes do not show relief. But her hands do. She brings the needle down. The tip touches the strap again, not skin. A soft hiss. The band softens where a camera cannot see. He sucks a breath in hard and coughs it out. A spray of saline, clear and honest, splashes the lens of the ceiling camera. A blur passes over their world. For 1 second, all eyes are blind. He moves like a quiet storm. His free hand slides. The filament loops the second strap. Turn, pull, release. The strap sighs. His right hand is free. He does not jump from the table. He does not show teeth. He lets his arms hang heavy as if tied. He watches Krail with eyes like stone in water. The silver suit taps the glass coffin. The fog inside turns slow. Open, it says. The lid peels back with a whisper. Frost breathes into the room. Now, Krail says. Lyra nods, securing patient lines. Her fingers brush the tray. The coin ring hums once. The dead micro-drone shell on the tray wakes as a quiet ghost. A jammer with no eyes. The room's mics crackle and then smooth. The camera tries to focus and cannot decide which world is true. She moves the tray to the foot of the bed. The jammer sits like a drop of night on steel. Close to the door. Close to the lock. The guards lift their rifles half an inch. They watch her hands. They do not watch his chest. He breathes in a count 478. The monitor loves the pattern. Resting glows soft and stupid. Machines love lies that look like sleep. Strap his legs, the silver suit says. Lyra nods and bends. As she bends, her shoulder bumps the IV pole. The clear tube swings. The needle in her hand scrapes the edge of the tray. A bright spark jumps. The sound is small. The effect is not. The door panel flickers for a blink like a tired eye. The jammer sings a little machine tune. The lock thinks audit test. It drops to green for a taste and climbs back to red. A code thread opens and closes. He files the timing. 2 seconds of open honey when the tray sings. The silver suit grows impatient. Enough, it says. Inside the box, Krail steps to the head of the bed and looks down at the human. You are lucky, he says softly. Most humans die screaming. You will sleep in numbers. He answers in a dry voice. I prefer sleeping in air. Krail's mouth folds into a thin, knot smile. Not today. Lyra sets her palm on the human's shoulder as if to comfort him. Her fingers press a pattern. 3 taps, pause, 2 taps. He answers with the same beat under the sheet. Ready. The guards grip the bed frame. They unlock the wheels. The bed rolls. The glass coffin waits like a mouth. He lets his head turn a little. He sees the vent on the left wall. The edge is new scratched. Someone opened it recently. He tastes the air at the floor, colder, drier. The intake sighs every 5 seconds. The station's lungs beat behind the vent. The bed stops beside the coffin. Lift, the silver suit says. The guards reach for him. Lyra gets in their way. Fake, gentle, real stubborn. Wait, his line will tangle. She touches the tube and snaps it free with a neat twist. The camera sees good work. Krail sees obedience. He sees a path. He starts to shake. Not panic, performance. He shakes like a man on the edge of a seizure. He lets his eyes roll a little. He bites his lip for real and tastes iron. The monitor screams a flat alarm. Irregular. The room holds its breath. Lyra jumps, fierce. I said he would code. She grabs the defib paddles from the wall. Her implant bites her for the shout. She takes the pain like a pro. Krail looks bored but waves a lazy hand. Do it! She slaps the paddles to his chest. They are not charged. She only needs noise. She squeezes the trigger. A sweet fat click fills the air. The camera resets focus. The door panel glitches again. The jammer sings. The lock kisses green for another 2 seconds. He moves in those 2 seconds. His free hand slips to the bed's side rail and touches a screw he counted long ago. The screw is steel. The filament key is wire. Metal loves metal. Twist, loop, pull. The side rail pin drops. The bed frame shifts a hair. He slides like water down a smooth rock, half an inch of freedom. His arm falls off the bed and vanishes below the sheet. To the room, he is a shaking patient. To the space below, he is a hand searching the underframe. There. A small manual release for the bed lock. He pulls it. The bed rolls an inch on its own. Lyra yanks it back into place and covers the move. Her eyes do not laugh. His do. Charge to 50, she says. 20, Krail says. He does not care. He wants movement. He wants transfer. The silver suit sighs, metal on metal. 5 seconds, it says. Then we close. Lyra leans near his ear. Left, she breathes. He turns his head left. The vent cover. 4 screws. 2 old, 2 new. 1 corner bent. Human fingers could bend it more. Alien fingers could not. They would break a rule before they broke a vent. Now, she whispers. He screams again. Short and hard. The guards jerk. One hand leaves the bed. The other lifts the rifle by reflex. The barrel taps the glass coffin with a hollow ping. The silver suit turns, annoyed. Lyra moves. Her hand drops the coin ring into his palm. In the same motion, she flicks the tray with her wrist. The jammer sings a longer note like a string pulled too far. The door lock goes green and stays there, confused by a song it does not know. He rolls. He rolls off the far side of the bed, the side away from the door, the side near the vent. He lands soft, all silent muscle. He pulls the sheet with him. To the room, a white shape slides. To a real eye, a man is now on the floor, patient. Lyra cries, pointing at the opposite side on purpose. Both guards rush there. For one heartbeat, no one sees the vent. He slips the ring to his finger and slaps it against the vent cover. The magnet grabs, he pulls. The bent corner gives with a small, crying sound. He breathes once. He rips the corner up and away. Air touches his face like a cold hand. Krail sees him. Stop, Krail says, simple as a gun. A rifle swings. A safety clicks. Lyra steps in front of the barrel and opens her arms. He will code, she says, voice breaking with a medic's fake fear and a woman's real courage. Her implant bites her hard. She does not move. The guard hesitates. Krail does not. Shoot, he says. The rifle shifts left to miss the medic and hit the man. He is already moving. He dives into the black mouth of the vent and drags the sheet after him like a white snake. The ring in his hand eats the next screw. The cover falls back into place, now crooked, now ugly, now perfect. A bullet kisses steel where his head was. Inside the vent, darkness waits. Heat breathes from deeper pipes. The station's lungs whisper. Behind him, the room explodes into orders and boots. Ahead of him, a fan starts to turn. A low, hungry sound. The harvester ship hums through the walls like a deep-sea predator. He crawls. He counts. He listens. Lyra's last word rides the air behind him, small and fierce. Run. Metal swallows him. The vent is a narrow throat. It smells like dust and hot coins. He drags the sheet with him, pulls it under his chest. The fabric turns into a skin against the cut steel. His elbows slide. His knees find rhythm. Behind him, the lab roars with orders. Ahead of him, a low fan wakes like a hungry animal. He stops, listens, counts. 5 seconds, the intake sigh. 2 seconds, a tick in the wall, valves switching. 1 second, a faint whine, fan spin rising. He knows what that means. Purge is coming. Krail's voice climbs the duct as if it belongs to the metal. Vent purge, heat. Heat is not fire. Heat is worse. No smoke to warn lungs, no flame to see. Just air that turns to knives. He puts the coin ring on his finger, presses it to a side screw and twists. The screw leaps to the magnet with a happy bite. He pockets it. The next screw and the next. He lifts a small panel and peers down a shaft. Second fan waits below, still for now. He will not risk it. He moves forward on forearms like a soldier under low wire. The sheet hisses under him. He tastes copper at the back of his throat. The vent turns left, then narrows. He squeezes through. The metal kisses his ribs. The world hums louder. Behind him, boots hit the lab floor. He hears Lyra's voice, calm and sharp. Stop the bleed. He will die in the vents. Krail says, that is the point. He does not let the words slow him. A soft orange glow touches his cheek. He looks back. The purge igniters blink alive far behind him. Little suns in a line, waking one by one. Heat flows forward like a slow river. He yanks the clear drip bag from under the sheet. Saline sloshes. He bites the tube and sucks. Spits half into the vent floor, leaves the bag heavy with the rest. He ties it to a low bracket with the filament loop. The bag sags across the duct like a fat drop. He takes a deep breath and punches the bag. It bursts. Cold water kisses hot metal. Steam explodes. The vent sensors scream. The station thinks leak flood, not fire. Purge logic blinks, stutters, reroutes. Heat jumps upward away from the water event. He feels the air shift, pulling past him toward a higher path. He smiles without showing teeth. Human trick. Not pretty, effective. He crawls faster. The vent splits at a T. Left smells like lemon, freshly cleaned hull. Right tastes like old metal and cold iron. He chooses right. Cold is safety in a place that loves heat. His hand brushes grit. He pauses. The grit is not random. Lines in dust. He wipes with a finger. A crude arrow points right, then down. A second mark, 3 short scratches. A human count. He is not the first. He goes right. The vent slopes. His elbows burn. His breath fogs. The purge glow fades behind him, then brightens again. The system adjusted. Smart beast. He hears something new, a soft hiss. Not heat, foam. The Empire calls it purity sweep. Thick white foam floods the vents to trap, to choke, to clean. It is sweet, then sour, then gone, because the thing that breathes it is gone too. He slides faster. The duct bends like a snake. He rounds a corner and sees a white tongue crawling toward him along the floor, foam in a lazy wave. It is beautiful like winter. It is death like winter. He pulls the sheet up and throws it over the foam tongue. The fabric drinks the mess, turns heavy, cold, sticky. He crawls over it, chest low, face turned, lungs tight. The foam kisses his neck. It hates warm skin. It clings. He rips the sheet forward. It drags the foam like a dirty snow shovel. He breathes in the small, clean pocket he makes behind it. The coin ring scrapes. The sound wakes something above. He looks up. A new eye glints. Another micro-drone, not in the lab, but here, fixed to a rib in the vent. This one has no lens. It has a needle like a bee's sting. He does not look straight at it. He lets his hand drift to the ring, taps the ring to the vent rib beside the drone. Metal hum meets metal bone. The drone twitches, loses grip, falls into his sheet of foam and drowns. Its sting winks out with a tiny sad spark. Not today, he whispers. Heat breathes again behind him. The foam sizzles where hot air meets it. Sweet turns bitter. He does not taste it twice. Downslope now. The air goes cooler. Good. The sound deepens. Ahead, a larger space breathes. Not a small duct, but a lung. He reaches a grated edge. Through it, a tall blue cylinder rises like a glass tree. The air core. He sees catwalks thin as bones and a control node below, blinking small green hearts. The implant leash might live there. He has no time to dance on bones. He looks down another shaft. The fan that was dead above is alive here. Its blades are steel petals, slow then faster. He pulls the magnet ring off and drops it. It snaps to a blade hub. The fan yelps, shivers, and stops. The motor whines, confused. He slides in a breath later and pulls the ring free. The fan tries to wake again. He bolts through. A red light blinks. The system is not a fool. It will try again. He crawls on. The duct narrows like a throat singing. He hears voices vibrate through the metal far below. Techs speaking in bored tones, counting cycles. He memorizes numbers he may need later. Above him, thin shafts of light slice through seams. He hears a click. He feels air move the wrong way. The purge logic learned his water trick. It is pushing heat down now, a clever hand in a clever glove. He thinks like a technician. He thinks like a thief. He thinks like a man who wants to live. He stops and listens with his palm flat on the duck skin. The metal sings a low note. Every 10 seconds, a small pressure drop whispers. A valve he can ride. He times it. 1, 2, 3. On 10 he moves, sliding through the hottest patch at the coolest breath. Then waits in a metal shadow. Then moves on 10 again. A slow dance with a blind partner that steps hard. The vent widens, good. Then his palm feels a hole ahead. Not a drop, a chute. He inches forward and peeks. The duct opens into a vertical shaft. Cold air falls. Far below something glows. A control node the size of a fist stuck to a pipe like a tick to skin. Wires feed it. It hums like a nervous heart. Implant control. The leash brain. He cannot reach it from here. The shaft is too wide to jump clean. There is a safety grill halfway down. If he misses, he dies loud. He looks across the shaft. Another duct mouth faces him just out of reach. He checks his pocket. A single screw, a filament loop, the ring, a piece of his own shirt, ragged and damp. The dead micro-drone corpse he stole? No, he left that on the tray. He ties the screw to the filament, makes a tiny grapnel, ugly but eager. He breathes, he throws. It hits the far rim and bounces, falls. He pulls back fast before the weight drags him forward into the hole. His elbow screams. He holds, he throws again. The screw catches the lip, slips, then bites on the second lip. A burr in the metal that God or another human left there. He pulls. The filament goes tight like a violin string. It holds, he swings. For a breath, he is only air and bone and a tiny human wish. He slams into the far duct with his shoulder. Pain explodes like white light behind his eyes. He barks a breath. His fingers claw the rim. The filament sings, it holds. He drags his chest over the edge and collapses into the new dark. He lies still. He smiles at nothing. Then he hears it. 3 soft thuds in the old duct behind him, spaced like footsteps but in metal. The fan's waking in sequence. The system is sweeping the path he just used. The heat will chase him with steady teeth. He crawls faster. The new duct bends, then drops. He sees a grate. Through it, a pale room glows. Empty except for a bank of small cylinders the size of bottles labeled with tiny alien script. The symbols repeat a pattern. He squints. Lyra taught him with her hands. He decodes enough coolant he could flood this branch, kill heat here by time. But the labels carry a warning glyph, implant safe zone. These lines feed the control node. Kill them and the leash may bite everyone hard, including Lyra. He stares through the grate, jaw tight. He is alone, but he is not alone. He knows which choice is human. He moves on. The duct opens at a maintenance hatch. A single bolt holds it. He presses the ring. The bolt jumps. The hatch loosens. He peeks through a slit. A narrow service hall glides below, quiet, blue lit. Cameras sleep in smooth domes, no voices. A good place to breathe and a bad place to be seen. He hears Krail again, colder now, closer. Seal Sector B, ventilate to void if you must. Void is a kind word for space that eats lungs. He looks back at the shaft and down where the control node hums. He looks forward at the hall that promises speed and sharp eyes. He looks up into the dark where the purge learns. He chooses down. He slides back to the shaft edge and feeds the filament around a pipe stub. He makes a clumsy belay, enough for a one-man drop without a second chance. He tightens the ring on his finger. It will be his break or his death. He swings out over the cold blue heart of the station. The filament whines. The fan above clicks alive. He drops. He drops. Cold air claws his skin. The filament sings in his hands. The magnet ring burns his palm as it slides, stopping him inch by inch. His boots kiss steel and slip. He kicks sideways. His shoulder slams a pipe. Pain is a bright flower. He does not let go. He hangs over the blue glow of the air core. The cylinder rises like a tall frozen river. Below it, the control node sits on a pipe bend, a black pebble with green eyes. Wires feed it like veins. He breathes. He swings. He aims for a narrow catwalk under the node. On the third swing, he lets go. He lands in a crouch that rattles his bones. The catwalk flexes and complains. It holds. He looks up. The fan above wakes with a slow growl. Heat will follow. Foam will follow. Void, maybe. He moves to the node. It is smooth and mean. Alien symbols walk across its small face. He sees a slot the width of a thin strip. He thinks of the filament key in his pocket. He listens. The hall beyond the core is not empty anymore. Boots, distant voices. A man who owns the air, Krail. He works fast. He wraps the filament around the node and tightens until the wire bites rubber, not metal. Not a cut, a hug. He wants to touch nerves, not kill arteries. He takes the coin ring and sets it on the node like a crown. The magnet grips hard. The green eyes blink twice, slow, annoyed. He whispers to the machine like it is an animal. Easy, I only need one trick. He thinks of Lyra's implant. He thinks of the tiny shock that kissed her when she told a soft lie. He thinks of the way her hands did not shake when a gun pointed at her. He will not fry her brain. He takes a breath and taps the ring twice. Metal hum runs through the filament. The node twitches. A little light opens on its side. A port. He has no key to fit it, but he has the dead microdrone's song in his head. He remembers the pitch the jammer sang. He hums it under his breath, then slows it, then raises it half a step. He taps the ring to match. The light brightens. The port opens a little wider. The node is not proud. It will listen to anything that talks like a machine. He slides the filament's bare end into the port. The green eyes lift, confused, then calm, then cold. The air around him tightens like a fist. He hears a small voice. Lyra's voice. Not in his ear. In the metal. Tiny, like a ghost half a mile away. Don't, it says, or maybe it says please, or maybe it is only memory. He cannot tell. He is deep inside the station's breath, and breath carries old words like leaf scents carry spring. Boots hit the main walkway behind the core. He does not look. He knows that rhythm now. Crail walks like a metronome. He whispers, 5 seconds. He needs 5 to build a pulse. He holds the ring. He sets count in his head. On 1 he draws power. On 2 he shapes it small. On 3 he points it like a needle toward the implant band. On 4 he filters the spill. Away from hearts, away from minds. The catwalk shakes. Something heavy lands on it to his left. He turns. Lyra stands there, breath white in the cold glow. Her eyes are bright and wild. A med pack hangs from her shoulder. Her hands hold a device the size of a book, built from pieces that should not fit. A defib coil, a scanner core, a power cell, a handful of stubborn hope. You shouldn't be here, he says. You either, she answers. Her voice is soft but not weak. She lifts the device. I made a better choice. He stares. You brought a bomb. A pulse, she says. Focused, short. It can do 1 thing well or 2 things badly. What 1 thing? Kill power to this ring of the station for 30 seconds, she says. Or burn every implant in this zone to ash. Her face does not change when she says ash, but her throat tightens. She wears an implant behind her ear. She is brave. She is not stupid. 30 seconds is not long, he says. Long enough if you are fast, she says. Burning implants would free you, he says. It would also cook any medic in a hall, she says, and any child on a tour and any tech who never chose this world. She shakes her head. That is not my oath, he nods. He likes her more. He hates this place more. The core hum deepens. The station feels them both now like a tongue feels a loose tooth. Cameras above the cylinder blink. They are blind, then they are not. The jammer on the tray is far away. Another voice arrives. Not Crail. The silver suit cold as a drawer. 2 warm bodies by the core, it says. Seal the node. A heavy cover starts to slide down between the catwalk and the control point. If it closes, the port is gone and so are choices. Lyra looks at the moving plate. Pick, she says, and her hands do not shake. Power or implants, he thinks. He pictures 30 seconds of dark doors and confused guns. He pictures Lyra on a floor with smoke in her hair, free of metal forever. He sees Crail's face in both pictures. It becomes smaller in the second. He makes the human choice. He makes the medic's choice too. Power, he says. Lyra nods once. No lecture. Only trust. She kneels beside the node. She strips the coil leads with her teeth and clamps them to 2 screws he freed with the ring. Her fingers dance. The device wakes and asks for a price. Now, she says. He pulls the filament from the port and slaps the ring hard against the node. The magnet bites. The green eyes go wide. He takes her device in both hands with her. Their shoulders touch. She smells like cold metal and warm skin. They press the trigger together. The room goes white, but not before a voice cuts the light. Crail's voice, close and sharp and pleased. Shoot the medic. Lyra flinches just a breath as if the bullet already touched air. He turns, body first, words after. He moves without plan because the plan is old. Put body in front of friend. The white eats sound. It eats commands. It eats cameras. It eats doors. Then it eats itself. Dark falls like a calm hand. Silence. He hears only air. No alarms, no boots. No Crail. A new sound comes, thin and sweet like glass singing on a finger. Lyra's implant. Sparks once, it dies. She staggers. He catches her. The med device falls and slides away until a rail stops it. The green eyes on the node are gone. The cylinder still glows blue but softer like the moon at dawn. 30, he says. His voice is a stone tossed in a still pond. Lyra takes a breath that shakes. 29, she says. They move. He rips the filament from the pipe and loops it around his waist and hers. Don't argue, he says. Be fast. Not arguing, she says. They run the catwalk like a thin bridge over a dream. In the dark, stairs appear as black teeth. He counts them as jumps, 1, 2, 3, 4. They reach a maintenance hatch. He slams the ring to the bolt. The metal loves him and lets go. The hatch screams when it opens. He does not care. He stuffs Lyra through first, then follows. A short service tunnel curves left. At the end, a ladder drops to a small door with a handwheel. Where? He asks. She points without thinking. Pod bay, she says. 2 more turns. 1 flight. 20, he says. They move like a single animal, small and fast and tired of cages. Behind them, the station starts to wake. Distant lights twitch. Far doors cough. A gun somewhere tries to remember what it loves. They reach the ladder. Down, he says. She goes. He follows. The hand wheel is stiff from cold. He grabs it. Lyra puts her hands over his. They turn together. It gives. They drop into a narrow hall with gray walls and a strip of light that is trying to be born. At the end of the hall, a round door shows the icon of a seed with wings. A maintenance pod. 15, he says. They run. A shadow peels off the wall in front of the pod. It is not a shadow. It is a man with a gun and skin like winter. Overseer Krail, no guards, no suit. Just a smile that did not learn how. He lifts the gun, no hurry. He does not need hurry. He owns the hall. Humans, he says. You always think in lines. Lyra steps half a pace in front of the human. He steps half a pace in front of her. 14, he says. Krail's smile warms by 1 degree. He points the gun at Lyra's heart. 13, Lyra whispers, and her hand finds the coin ring in his palm and closes hard. 13, Krail sights down the gun. Calm eyes, cold breath. He steps an inch wider, hiding Lyra with his body. The hall is narrow. The pod door gleams behind Krail like a moon behind a cliff. 12, he says, voice low. Krail's mouth bends. Count all you like. Lyra's fingers dig into the coin ring in his palm. Not fear, a plan. He feels the round edge, the little hum trapped quiet. He shifts his weight. You love straight lines, he says to Krail. Walk in, aim, shoot, done. Krail's chin lifts a hair, amused. Yes, he nods. Humans draw circles. He slides his free hand to the wall panel by the pod sign. The panel is dark, but above it sits a round puck, a status repeater, a dumb relay that carries patient tags through blind zones. He met its twin before. In the lab. He taught it a lie, resting. He slaps the coin ring to the puck. The ring hums one clear note. The puck wakes. It asks the station, where is the human from Lab 12? The station, still half asleep from the pulse, answers with old truth, in bed resting. The repeater spits that truth into the podlock logic. The pod door behind Krail chuckles and clicks. Green, Krail hears it. He does not look back. He never looks back. He steps 1 pace forward and centers the gun on the human's face. 11, he says, because numbers are a weapon too. Lyra moves first. She does not reach for the gun. She takes his wrist and pulls it down hard so his arm crosses his body. At the same time, he steps into Krail's space like a wave rolling over a rock. They learned this dance in a white room with straps. One pushes, one turns. Krail fires. The shot scrapes the wall. Hot dust bites his cheek. He rams his shoulder into Krail's chest. Not a big hit. A smart hit. Krail's heel catches the pod door frame. The half-open hatch kisses his back. 10. Lyra slaps the wall panel again with the ring. The pod door widens, confused, obedient. The hatch is a mouth. It wants to eat air. Krail swings the gun up. He does not reach for the barrel. He drops low and grabs Krail's coat belt, pulls down and back, the simplest throw in the world. Human judo, human gravity. Krail falls half into the hatch, half out. His gun hand jams against the rim. Bone hits metal. The pistol slips. Lyra's foot snakes out like a thin knife and kicks the pistol. The gun skates away, spinning slow, then fast, then vanishes under a rack. 9. Krail is strong. He twists like a cat and catches the hatch lip. He pulls himself out again, face pale with cold anger, not fear. Lines, he says, almost soft. Circles. All the same when you bleed. He lunges. He meets a sheet. The same white sheet that carried foam now whips like a rope. He throws it over Krail's head and yanks. For 1 second, the overseer is blind in clean cloth. He does not waste it. He slams the ring to the pod's inside panel and drags Lyra through the mouth. In, he says. She dives. He follows. He kicks the sheet free and hits the inner close switch. Krail rips the cover off his face as the pod hatch seals between them with a fat, greedy kiss 8. Krail's hand slams the outer panel. Red. The hall power stutters awake, one ugly blink at a time. The door logic starts to remember new rules. It will lock, then unlock, then decide to cry. He drops into the pilot's seat. The pod is small, round and mean. Just a box with a bellies-out engine and a window like a coin. He slaps buttons. Lights ask for codes. Lyra is already there, digging in a service slot. Maintenance override, she says, breath fast, fingers faster. Short blue to black, then green to frame. It thinks we are a tool. He does not argue. He watches for Krail's next move. The overseer does not shoot. He listens, he learns. He leans close to the glass, breath fogging a small ghost circle. His mouth shapes the next hunt. 7, Lyra sparks 2 wires. The pod wakes with a low, hungry growl. The console shows an orange triangle. Warning, dock clamps engaged. Clamps, she says. Manual. He looks through the glass. Outside, 2 mechanical arms hold the pod like a mother who never let go. To release them, someone must ask the station nicely. He does not ask. He grabs the emergency crank between the seats, a steel bar with old teeth. He slams it into the floor socket and turns. The floor fights. He turns harder. The pod groans. The first arm twitches. 1 tooth gives. 6. Krail pulls a device from his coat. It is small and ugly. A backup key, a circle of dark metal with a scar in it. He presses it to the outer panel. The hatch green light thinks about it, then blushes a little more. Green likes green. Locks like brothers. The pod door shivers. Lyra drops into the second seat and grips the side handle. 2 more, she says of the clamps. Fast, he grinds the crank. A heavy clunk runs through the hull. 1 arm lets go. The pod lurches down an inch and hangs from the last claw. 5, Krail smiles. He places the key again. The hatch draw bolts start to turn. The door is smart, but the key speaks old words from the station's bones. The door wants to obey old ghosts. Now, Lyra says, and slams the cabin pressure equalizer. The pod hisses. The hall air outside answers with a hiss of its own. For a breath, difference becomes wind. Krail's hair lifts. Papers on the wall lift. The door pauses in confusion. Safety logic hates opening into wind. He leans his weight into the hatch with a small hiss of anger. 4. He shoves the crank and leans with all his weight. The second arm moans. Threads scream. Something strips. The clamp pops, the pod drops free. It yawns in its cradle. 3. He hits thrusters. The engine coughs like an old dog, then barks. The pod shudders, fights its cradle, slides an inch, then 2. The hall outside tilts in the window. Krail steps to keep balance. His face is blank, then not. For the first time, the winter cracks. He is annoyed. He takes a deep breath and brings the key up again. 2. The pod refuses to launch without a flight path. It wants a song from the tower. It wants a line. He remembers the repeater. He remembers circles. He taps the coin ring to the console and loops the resting tag into the pod lane system. The tower thinks maintenance bed transfer. Bed to pod. Status. Sleeping human. A sleepy door opens in the station's throat. A line becomes a loop. 1. Krail shouts something he never shouts. Not an order. A name, Lyra. It is not command. It is a hook. It is meant to pull her back into his gravity. Her head turns half an inch. He puts his hand on her cheek and turns her back to him. His thumb is rough. His voice is quiet. Relax, he says with a small smile. This won't hurt. She laughs once, a small broken bell. I know, she says. 0. He punches launch. The pod jumps like a heart. The cradle spits them into a narrow tube that bends like a bow. Lights scream past, white, then blue, then none. The tube door at the far end blinks yellow, thinks, tries to close, then remembers sleeping human passing by and stays open just long enough. They shoot into the dark. The station falls away, a cold ring with a slow blue river inside. Tiny red mouths glow where vents breathe. 1 spot flares, the lab they escaped. Another blooms, the Air Corps' halo trying to wake. A shot hits the pod's tail. The frame shivers. He fights the stick. Lyra reaches for the med kit and rips it open. She straps herself in and then him. Her hands move to his arm. There is blood from earlier where the vent bit him. He is busy with vectors. Cold space is full of wrong ways to die. Later, he says. Now, she answers. Her voice is steady. Her fingers are sure. She seals the cut with foam. It stings. He does not pull away. Relax, human, she says softly because she has to say it. Because the line became a circle. He grins despite the hurt. Now I believe you. He nudges the pod into a slow roll and sights the black between stars. The harvester ship hangs to port like a sleeping knife. He keeps distance. He keeps silence. He keeps them small, they breathe. For a short time, breathing is everything. A whisper scratches the radio. Not alien. Not machine. Human. Thin. Tired. Real. If anyone hears this, Grid 7 by 9. Old mining rock. Safe for now. Lyra looks at him. Another human? He listens to the static, the numbers, the hope. He nods once. Not the only one, he says. He sets a course that is not a line. He draws a circle the long way around the Dead Star crest and the angry ring. Behind them, the station lights come back in pieces. Doors wake with bad dreams. Somewhere in those halls, Crail stands very still and learns a new word. Later, in the pod's small light, Lyra's implant is only a scar now. She touches it, then looks at her hands. I broke my oath, she says soft. He shakes his head. You kept it. She watches his arm. The foam sets. The pain fades. Relax, human, she says again, gentle and true. This won't hurt. Stars open in front of them like doors that forgot how to close. The pod hums. The radio whispers. The story does not end. It only changes rooms.